Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is so exciting. I love having other podcasters on my show and other creators. Thank you, Mike and Dory, for joining me.
Thank you
This is
for
so
having us.
Yes,
exciting.
thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, I love talking to other podcasters because isn't podcasting just like the most fun thing you can do for content creation these days?
It actually is.
Yeah,
It's really easy, so it's not like it doesn't have that barrier to entry that some art kinda tends to have, where you have to be, like, really great at pencil art or something like that. It's just you can voice an opinion, and you can just go with it, and it doesn't have to be perfect or anything.
Yeah. And like you can get super techy about it and like have all the fancy gear, but also like I'm running with like very little fancy gear and it's working fantastically. So
Yeah.
it's one of those, yeah, it's one of those ones that's just so easy to get into.
we've got more fancy gear and we're having issues with ours. Maybe we should go simple.
Yeah, I mean,
The tech of it all, hey?
technology.
Like that's always, I think, like the biggest barrier to most of the things we do is the tech of
Yep.
it all. But, I mean, it's getting a lot easier these days to, like, learn it all and figure it
Mhm.
out, so that's really nice. So tell me about the Othering podcast. When did you guys get started?
So we started in May of last year. That was when we aired our first episode, May 5th. And we kind of stepped into it because we wanted to do something where we were on the at first thinking radio again, because we used to do radio
Internet
and
radio.
yeah, internet radio, and we loved it. And we were just like, we want to do something again because we're missing that. And so we were talking, and then we're like, well, why don't we do a podcast? And, then we kinda couldn't figure out what in the world we wanted to do. At first, we were thinking we would talk about, raising our kids because so many people asked about that. And it's just kind of like one of those things where it's a one
Yeah.
sentence. It's just we talked to them like they were normal humans and not like, we didn't baby them like that. I mean, of
Mm.
course we babied them, but we didn't baby them in that manner. So, I mean, that's just kind of how it was. And we were figuring this isn't going to last long. And we have a tendency to love to start stuff and never finish it.
Mhm.
um,
Neurodivergent, maybe?
Yes, just a little. And like we've got books up the wazoo that we've been in the
Mhm.
process of writing. And so we decided, after some thinking and, with the election that happened, we kind of figured, you know what, we need to speak out. I had this very strong urge that I needed to speak out. And at first I was thinking, well, since I love helping people, why don't I go into medicine like I originally wanted to? And I started doing that, and I'm just like, I'm freaking out. Um, and I kept second guessing myself, thinking, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm too old, or I'm not smart enough, or, all of those things that pop in your head. And so he's like, well, why don't we just do the podcast?
Well,
Kind of.
not exactly.
The
She
simplified
thought
version there.
Yes.
she thought of the podcast idea.
So yeah, I thought about that and I said, well, why don't we do it about at first we were thinking what politics or something like that, just to kind of share our thoughts and feelings about it. And he's like, well, I don't know much about politics. And so we're like, okay, never mind. And um
Now I do.
yeah, now he does. But then we started talking and I said, well, why don't we do something about others? Because the first thing when, fascism comes in, the first people that are always the first to go when the genocide starts coming are disabled and LGBTQ plus, because they're, in for some reason, stupid reason, we're the most vulnerable. And so they take advantage of that, figuring, well, everybody's going to be happy, but them being gone. And so I was thinking, you know what? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we, give people a platform to show that they're human? And so when, inevitably, if that happens, um, you have to look at that person and know their story. And how do you look at them and say, I'm going to kill you, or, I'm going to have you murdered? And so that's what we came from. And I came up with the title because, once again, we're othered. We are the other people. We're never a part of the correct group. And so that's where I came up with the title.
And the whole thing was pretty much her idea. Like, we were in the car driving, and she started talking about it, and she has been on Instagram and finding that community of the chronically ill and the LGBTQ and stuff. And I wasn't really paying much attention to that, but it was helping her because similar people and similar issues, whatever. So when she brought it up, I was like, sure, I'm willing to do that, but can we get enough guests? So I had her ask some of the people that she was talking to, and they all were all for it.
Yeah.
And then it exploded from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I haven't had a hard time finding guests at
No,
all because there's so many people who are so excited to share their stories. And like for those reasons too, because we feel othered and we feel like people don't understand. And currently, like, we're all under attack.
right.
Yes,
Um, I'm in Canada. Whereabouts in the US are you guys?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Neat. Do I know much about Pennsylvania? Not really. I don't think so. How is it down there?
It's cold.
We've,
It's getting
Yeah,
yeah.
cold again.
cold and
It
wet.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
can't decide if it wants to be winter or fall or spring.
Yeah, we got that happening up here. I'm on the west coast of Canada, and it's just
Mhm.
wet right now. Just lots of wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, and sharing these stories has been like, this has honestly become my favorite part. Like, I started my business to, like, you know, help with content strategy and business strategy and writing and stuff like that. And then I really like started connecting with more of the people. And I was like, there's so much more to this. Like,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
need to get more of these stories out. We need to talk to people. And I just love sharing all of the different ways we find to accommodate ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's so huge.
And this really changed her, like, her life, because she
Yeah,
was really upset and, like, really down with the new
yeah.
administration regime, whatever you wanna call it, and just her disability was getting worse and worse, her legs were, and having done this, talking to the people, I'm talking for you,
Yeah.
but talking to the people, it really, really healed her, and in selfish way, made her more pleasant to be with.
Yes.
And would agree with that one. I've definitely been a lot happier since finding community and the fact that, like,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stuck at home these days. Like, I can't work out of the home anymore. And so, like, finding that, like, connection with people, it makes such a difference to, like,
Yes.
Oh,
not
yeah.
feel alone. Huge.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
huge. I think also I was thinking in terms of everybody feels alone, and everybody, even though we know we're not, so many things, especially where when we grew up, you didn't see disabled people much. And if you did, it was usually the very obvious ones on
Yeah.
TV where they were in um, a wheelchair or they had speech impediments and things like that. And so when we were growing up, that if that's all you see, you don't realize the nuances that are a part of being disabled. And, nobody talks about the fact that neurodivergence is considered a disabling
Mm.
disease. I mean, not disease, whatever it is, syndrome. Um, and, all of those different things, depression and anxiety, all of those contribute. And again, you're not told these things. So you don't realize everybody else has a sense of that, has a feeling of that. And so getting to talk to other adults, and I preface adults because I'm surrounded by children. So, and I love talking to my kids, but it's a totally different thing when you get to talk to adults. Um, and, getting to talk to them and hear their stories and realize, oh my God, I do that too. Or, oh my God, I think that too. And it does help make you feel like you're less alone, even if you don't talk to them every day.
It's been huge for me with, like, the neurodivergent side of things, like, I mean, for so long, I just felt like the weird kid, like, I'm just the weird kid, I'm just quirky, I'm just, like I'm lazy, I'm, whatever else, like, I had so many negative labels to go along with everything, and I feel so much better knowing that I'm, like, I'm really not alone. Not only am I not alone, but I'm, like, 100% not unique in any of my
Right.
experiences.
Right.
Kind of a bummer, kinda liked being quirky a little bit, but nope, not unique in any of these experiences, and there's other people who understand, and, like,
Mhm.
Yes.
they actually like, we can connect over the things, and, oh my gosh, and, like, just making friends in the neurodivergent community is so much fun because, like,
Mhm.
we just, like, get on, onto talking to each other, and
Yes.
it's just always instant for a
Yes.
while now, as I just got my ADHD diagnosis, I haven't gone any further into I'm definitely certain that there's more to it, but I haven't gone any further because, doctors, I don't
Yeah.
really wanna talk to any more doctors. The one thing that we definitely all have in common is dealing with gaslighting and
Yep.
medical trauma, so everyone understands that. So I've just been
Mhm.
referring to myself as being peer reviewed. I've
That
talked to
works.
enough.
That works.
We checked. We
It works
it
because,
worked.
you know, so many people want to dismiss it as,
Yeah,
well, you didn't see a doctor, you didn't get the official diagnosis, it can't be real. But when you think about it, the amount of money that it takes to get it
Mhm.
officialized,
there's so many barriers.
it's like at least $300 or more, depending upon if your insurance even covers it.
Yeah,
And I think it's just as valid if you take the tests, you did the research, and you realize that you match.
yeah,
Or if your therapist says, you know what,
Mhm.
you're on that spectrum.
yeah.
And I
I
think they'll
am
look out.
so pro self-diagnosis, so pro it, because, like, it took me 17 years to get a doctor to name my chronic illness. I'm hypermobile, like, 17 years. I could have gone to be a doctor in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
It
just
is.
finally started talking to the doctor about the ADHD. She gave me, oh my gosh, the most ridiculous tests that anybody who actually like knows the things would be embarrassed by. But she also agreed that, yeah, I am. So I guess we'll take it.
You should, because
But
I
yeah,
mean,
the barriers to getting the treatment and the diagnosis these days,
No.
especially down in the States, I know it's like it
it's
adds
hard.
like extra cash
Mhm.
incentive there to like or cash
Yes,
barrier of it all.
which is
Whereas here we
frustrating.
just don't have as many options of places to go,
Right.
and the wait lists are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to combine.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
We need
Yeah,
to
hey,
have,
if like collectively we could do
yeah,
something correctly in the healthcare field, that'd be really neat.
Mhm.
like, have it where you have the general doctors and, general specialists that are for everybody. And then you have some specialists that are priced reasonably
Mm,
that you can
with
go
that.
to if, you say you don't have that long to wait, you need to get in faster, then you can, pay a reasonable price to see those people and yet still not have to worry about going completely bankrupt because of seeing doctors of any sort.
Mhm.
We
Yeah, no,
need to
it's
combine those
crazy.
symptoms. And it's frustrating when you see so many doctors over so many years and they're just like, oh, well, it's because you're a girl. Or, oh, well, that's normal. And
It's just your period.
yeah, it's just your
Have you
period.
considered it might be anxiety?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not to disparage anxiety because I do have anxiety,
Mhm.
but
Absolutely.
that doesn't make sense to say it's everything.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're bleeding out your eyes, it's not anxiety. If you've got, your head hanging on by a thread, it's not anxiety just
Mhm.
because it's in a female package.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
It's
last response to a doctor that suggested that maybe it's anxiety, I was like, "Wouldn't you be anxious?
Yeah.
In this current state, like, given the things I've just told you, would you not be anxious?" Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so we'll establish that yes, I am anxious. But also
Yeah, exactly. What were you
it's
gonna say?
so crazy how it just oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
the medical systems these days. And like I've talked to people now from Canada, the States, UK,
Mhm.
Australia. Um oh, I was talking to somebody from Nigeria the other day. That was neat.
Wow.
Awesome.
None of them are doing it right. So
Why does that not shock me?
Yeah. There's
not at
always
all,
something
right?
wrong. Can't get it perfect.
No, and
No, I can't. It's so crazy. And now on top of all the things that you guys are dealing with, and I gotta say, our country is watching some of the things being like, hey, maybe that sounds like a good idea. And we're like, no, no, no,
No.
no, no,
No.
none of it is.
I
No, it's
want to
not.
say that just because you see something, it doesn't make it good.
Yeah, right?
Not everything you see is great. And honestly, it boggles my mind when other countries look at us and be like, we should follow them. No, no, no. You have been around for centuries. You have been doing this already. Don't go back to what we're going through.
Yeah. I can't believe almost half of the United States is okay with this. It
It's
makes
so
no sense to me.
crazy. It's so crazy. Like I have cut
Mm.
back on watching some of it
Yep.
recently because the mental
Yeah.
Mhm.
toll it was taking on me was a little much. So I just ask my husband every once in a while. I'm like, "Hey, is there anything in the news that I need to know about?" And he's like, "Well, so and so's trying to bomb so and so." And I'm like, "Do I need to know more?" No. No, I
No.
don't think I do.
Well, you can't avoid it anymore with social media. I know
Yeah,
you're on Threads and stuff like that. You
I
can't miss
have
it.
I have my algorithms and my feeds are very well curated. I have
That's good.
put an embarrassing amount of time into making sure that my feeds have the right people in it, and that is so important to me because
It
Mhm.
it
is.
takes such a toll on us. Like, I wanna be
Yeah.
informed,
Yeah.
not
It's
too
important.
informed these
It's
days.
important to be informed,
Yeah,
but if you catch it in passing, that's just as informed as if you watch it 24/7.
yeah,
Mhm.
It doesn't really make a difference. They don't say anything any more new the next hour or the next day. It's
yeah.
usually the same stuff and same sentences actually over and
Mhm.
over and over again.
Yeah. I remember when, the pandemic happened, I got really into, like, the watching the everything, and I was scrolling through the
Mhm.
everything so much, and I had to, like I really noticed the toll it was starting to take on me, and so I
Yeah.
had to cut back a
Yeah.
little bit, and then, your new president got in again, and I was like, "Oh, well, I gotta stay
Yeah.
updated again, I gotta know
Yeah.
what's happening," and then it was again, I'm like, "Oh, okay, whoa, pull back, pull back. That's not making anything better."
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he definitely isn't. And
The
he's our dictator now, but
the
Yeah.
first time he came into power in 2016, I remember we watched too much news, got too into it, and it started to affect us until
Yeah.
we kinda nixed it.
yeah, we had to step back and
Mhm.
I think my
because he's
approach to, like, knowing what's going on these days has been, like, mostly staying connected to people like you guys, like,
Right.
you know what's going on, I mean, you know it from, like, the point of view of the vulnerable people who really need to know these things, the people
mhm,
whose
Right.
rights are actually being impinged on, and those are the only opinions that I really want at this point.
right.
That's the only opinions I need. I don't need news. I do not need to listen to him speak. Not that we can
No.
No,
understand it anymore, but like
Yeah.
I
I
talk
don't
to
think
people like
he
you now
knows.
and yeah.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about, honestly. And I know that as a neurodivergent person, sometimes we have a tendency to talk in circles. And oh look, there's that, and then we add that in, and we end up finishing maybe a half hour later, but we finish it. He, I don't think ever finishes. I don't think he knows what he's starting to talk about, what he's trying to talk about, and what he's ending with.
I
I've
mean,
never heard anybody so incredibly stupid open their mouth.
Joke like news channels, though, I mean, their job has gotten so easy. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
literally,
they've
you
Oh,
even
yeah.
play
proved
a
it.
clip of him and everyone's laughing, and it's
Mhm.
perfect.
Yes. And our
Oh.
our legacy media has dropped the ball so badly.
Oh, so
Um,
badly.
and I don't even understand why they're still on at this point, just kinda oh, I I won't say what I was thinking, but, um, let's just say that they just need to give up now. They're not doing their job.
Mhm.
They're crap. And yeah,
Mhm.
and, fascism doesn't help anybody, not even the wealthy. It never has.
No, it's so crazy. And what blows my mind even more, is how many people are still traveling through. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
my parents just traveled through, and I was like, "Guys, don't! What are you doing? What?
No. Please boycott us.
Stop
Yeah.
it!" They're traveling through, though, this time instead of snowbirding in Arizona because obviously. So,
Right.
at least they are
Yeah.
going through. So,
Yes.
Through is better than staying.
Yes.
yes,
Definitely. I do not recommend staying here. Just pass through,
if you have
because
to.
the more it doesn't make sense for me to say it, but it does. The more industries that we can boycott and destroy, the more people are going to come out and be angry at the regime that we're under.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
And,
longer
like,
it's gonna make it impossible for him to stay.
yeah. And, like, I mean, I don't generally make politics a big part of, like, what I do, but lately it has become so much a part of it. And, like, politics is a part of everything, 100%, always.
Yep. Yep.
Because you can't do what you do if they're murdering you.
Right.
Right.
Politics
It
is
kinda
important,
dampens things,
but
it
it's
it makes it hard
crazy,
when your
like,
head's not on.
the extra ways that it has been affecting people lately, like, I mean, I know a lot of, Canadian small business owners, especially, like, people who do, like, shipping and stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
the tariffs have just ruined them, like, trying to
Yeah.
ship anything
Yep.
down there nowadays is just impossible.
Yep.
Getting anything to come up, same. And so it's just like
Yep.
there's so many people who are like, "Hey, I just wanna sell, these cute little stickers or these cute little planners," and now they have to be fully engaged in the politics of it all
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just taking over so much.
And, I think it was easier before because so many people weren't always affected every 4 years, the way that some were. And now that everybody is affected, a lot of people are beginning to wake up and realize that, "Oh, this is what everybody else was talking about."
Yeah,
And yeah, people have been screaming it from the rooftops since, the founding of our country. And, um, it's just it's amazing that it took so long,
Mhm.
um, to finally have empathy, enough empathy so that people are like, "Oh my god, this is wrong," and enough empathy for yourself to realize that you don't deserve this and that, what they fed you, what they told you wasn't good for you.
yeah. There's so much, especially in, like, the entrepreneurial side of everything now, like, that we can really see some changes coming in. And I think that a lot of it actually has to do with people with disabilities and neurodivergencies and
Mhm.
all of those things because we're seeing those things now and we're starting to like especially after 2020 so many people were like oh literally cannot anymore.
Right.
I can't
Right.
deal with this and so we're making so many changes in
Well,
those
you have
things.
to.
We have to.
So many people ended up disabled because of, COVID, and
Mm.
it's running around causing more people to become disabled.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
it's
And
crazy
yeah,
these days.
it is crazy. I don't think the Spanish flu of 1918 era did as much damage as COVID has.
Really don't.
And the fact that some people are still saying it doesn't exist, I don't understand that. You can't put your head in the sand forever. Eventually, you're going to die if you don't take a breath.
The painful level of unintelligence these days on so many levels and the amount of things that people just like don't understand is insane. Just
Yes.
crazy. And like I consider myself to be a fairly smart person. I'm not the smartest, but like I consider myself to be fairly intelligent. But like so many people just like don't get these like very basic concepts and like
Yeah.
especially in the like entrepreneurial world of it like I mean we're still hearing people say things like well if you can't afford to start a business you don't deserve it like gross
Wow.
no like
Yeah.
No.
yeah no I mean oh reading through threads some days I'm like well that's dumb
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
say
sometimes.
wrong things in a row
Yep.
Yep.
And a lot of it is so easy if you just Googled it.
yeah
Hmm.
you could just
I
Google
mean, it's right there at your fingertips. There's encyclopedias you can find, there's dictionaries.
I don't think this generation knows encyclopedias exist. They just
No, I
use
don't
their
think
phone.
our generation knows encyclopedias exist half the time.
half of
I
them
mean,
didn't yeah.
no, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, the more access to the education that we get, the more access to information, the less it seems to be absorbed. And
Yep.
yes,
yeah,
it's literally like it bounces right off their heads.
yeah.
And you just sit there and you're just in awe of the amount of cognitive dissonance it takes to reject everything. I can understand if one person tells you something, you can take it with a grain of salt. But when half a country, half a world tells you something, it is not mass hysteria at that point. It is obviously true at that point. And and a lot of it is, like I said, you can easily Google it. It's right there.
I'm starting to think someone actually did figure out brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just, we don't know. I have been on a tirade lately. I'm going to call it a tirade of the fact that social media has brainwashed us all to think that it is the only way to do business.
Yes.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Social media is
Yeah.
great, but at the same time, I think it's ruined a lot.
Yes. And like the amount of people that I'm seeing now, and they're like, well, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm like, you're depending on an app that doesn't want you to succeed.
Hmm.
That's all it is. That's its entirety of what it is. You have to like spread yourself out. And I'm really trying to convince more people now that they need to make the long form content. If you really
Mhm.
want to connect with people, you need to go above and beyond the short posts.
Yes.
And it
The
has to make such a
prob
difference.
the problem with not using social media is the cost. Everything's so expensive now to get any sort of advertising outside of the internet.
It is.
It's almost impossible
It is
unless you
so
have
difficult.
some sort of connection. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And all of life should not have to be that way.
Oh man, you really start to get trying to avoid falling into those pits of
Mhm.
despair where you just crawl
Mhm.
into bed and eat cake, but also, I think crawling into
Chocolate
bed and
cake or
eating cake
vanilla.
might solve at least one of my problems at this point.
Honestly, if that's what you're craving, do it because
Mhm.
it makes you happy. We live in a world where so many things you're supposed to be skinny, you're supposed to be, smart, but not too smart because people don't like know it alls or
Yeah.
whatever crap that is. And then, you're supposed to be online chronically, but not too chronically. And it's, that give and take thing. And it's just like, who cares? Whoever wrote those rules wasn't me.
Yeah.
So it's not going to fit me. So you know what? If I want to eat cake, I'm going to eat cake.
Let them
If I
all.
want the ice cream, get the ice cream. And, if you're skinny, that's great.
Yeah, neat.
But
But if you can't stay skinny, that's fine too.
but if you're gonna be chronically on social media, I might have an issue.
Well, yeah, that too. And it's just you have to connect with people outside of social media too.
Yeah.
You can't just rely 100% on that.
Yeah. Did we lose some sound there?
I think we did.
Oh,
Yeah, I
there you
turned my
go. We're back
microphone.
again.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
I,
Okay.
I
technology.
I
Um,
turned mine down because I heard like a really strong wind like sound. So I was
Might have been
just
me breathing, sorry. Um,
talked with a lot of people lately about burnout because that is, I mean, huge for all of us. Like we're burnt out with
yes,
life, we're burnt out with work. And like the common the solve for it is going back to those things that we like. Going back
yes,
to those cozy hobbies, finding those things that make us happy, eating the cake, ditching the idea of like whatever pressures they're trying to put on us. And oh my gosh, and especially like the fat phobic comments, like I'm so over that. I started
yeah.
my online career as a virtual personal trainer. And I was doing intuitive movement where I was trying to really get away from the diet culture side of it. Like I refused to do anything that had to do with weight. And now I'm seeing like all these posts about skinnies coming back. And I'm like, what? First of all, did it leave? Second of all, why?
yeah.
As someone
Well,
who lived through the 2000s and what like the Cosmopolitan and 17 magazines, like, can
Mhm.
we please not ever
Yeah.
again?
no, we shouldn't. And it's back because for some reason, when fascism comes in, it's about the blue eyes, the blonde hair, the tall,
Mhm.
skinny, easily controllable people.
Mhm.
And for some reason, they think skinny means controllable. And I guess it's because you can pick up a skinny person easier. I don't know,
The more weight you
but
gain, the harder you are to kidnap.
Yep.
exactly. And, you know, the first thing is love yourself. If you're skinny, love yourself. If you're fat, love yourself. Who cares?
If you're
Because,
disabled, love yourself.
And
Yeah.
be healthy.
yeah, I mean, as long as you're healthy, that's what matters because there are people who can run a marathon, but you would in because of how our society is, you would look at them and, "Oh, no, it can't possibly run a marathon because 'cause they're too big," or whatever stupid
Yeah.
idea
Mhm.
and notions you get in your head from society. And I mean, honestly, like, I am heavy. I admit that. Not that you can't tell, but and I'm sitting next to a very skinny man.
Mhm.
And we work. We have been married for 25 years.
Mhm.
And if you're skinny or if you're overweight or heavy or whatever it is, you will find the right person. So
Mm.
don't change for somebody else.
Yeah.
Do it
Exactly.
if you're doing it because you want to be healthy or whatever, do it for that reason, not for anyone else, just for you. And
I've
somebody will
honestly
love you
dropped
anyway.
the, like, as long as you're healthy part too, because working with so many people who are chronically ill, like, we just don't actually have a chance.
That's
I
Right.
true.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, good
not
point.
going to be healthy no matter what I eat, no matter how much exercise I do. I'm always going to have said chronic illness, and it's
Yes.
always
Yeah.
going to put barriers in my way. So, like, you know what?
Yeah,
As long as you're happy, as long as you're doing what you wanna do, I'm gonna eat whatever you wanna eat, gain the weight you wanna gain, be the person you wanna be. Just,
right.
you
And,
know?
if
And
the
don't be an
medicines
asshole.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And medicines can, sometimes cause people to be skinnier and sometimes it causes them to be heavier depending on the person. And, that whole skinny talk type of thing makes them feel like, well, then I need to ditch my medicines. No.
No, do not do that.
And that's
I've
what I mean by
had
being healthy is that not in the way that, society and science says to be healthy, but however it works for you. And, if it means that you have to take some sort of medicine, thyroid, whatever it is, and it's a type of steroid. Steroids make you eat and make you gain. If that means you can breathe, take the damn steroid.
Mhm.
Or, birth control. Birth control can sometimes make you heavy. Take it if it means that you can at least somewhat function. throughout the day. Don't worry about other people saying, "Well, you don't look right. Oh, you've gained weight." Who cares? Smack them upside their head, shove them in a box, send them back home, whatever it means, and enjoy your body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't even count how many how many conversations I've had now, just trying to explain to people that weight is not solely dependent on the amount of exercise you do and what you eat. It has
Yeah.
so many factors to it, and
Oh, yeah.
like 90% of them are entirely out of your control.
Right.
That
Yep.
you never actually had the option to make that choice in the first place.
Um,
But now maybe you do have to deal with a few other things that are also out of your control. And none of it's your fault.
no.
None of it even matters. Be a good person, be
Mhm.
happy. And that's like all we need to do.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Stop
when you
being
think
shitty.
about it, if two brown-eyed people can have a blue-eyed child,
Yeah.
and a blue-eyed and a green-eyed child can have a brown children, it should make you think, okay, then genes must be complex, and that just because mom and dad look like this, or mom, dad and dad look like X, Y, and Z, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Because if our looks can change at the whim of a hat based on genetics, you got to figure that whether or not you can be 100%, skinny or gain the weight if you're struggling, that's genetics too. That's stopping you from being able to be whatever you are. So we got to stop trying to look at the magazines for what we should look like. We should look at ourselves.
Mhm.
And I spent many a year as a teenager thinking I was ugly and disgusting type of thing because I didn't look like Cindy Crawford growing up. And, all of those types of models that were big back then. And honestly, it's okay that I didn't look like them.
Mhm.
I shouldn't want to look like them because that's them. And I am not at all them, and that's okay. Yeah, I would love their money, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, no, if we could take some other aspects
yes,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
would happily take their money, but, I l
Hair, oh my gosh, I love.
but also when you think about it, it's based off of a lot of people with extensive knowledge of hair that is
Mhm.
doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
That's doing their makeup.
yeah.
That's giving them the right tools to, exercise and eat, certain things. That takes money
And time.
and
Or,
time. Yeah.
if you're like Jennifer Aniston, I'm pretty sure it's witchcraft at this point because, like, also she's not aging, so,
Yeah.
hey, if there's some witches out there that,
Yeah.
Yep.
whoever's doing that, I mean, we can talk. We'll
Yeah,
do
her
some
and
witchcraft if
Helen
that's gonna
Mirren
do
didn't
some
age
things, why
either.
not?
Helen Mirren is just like, "What the hell are you doing, lady? You look awesome." I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
and maybe it's just not having kids, I don't know, but
The
because
amount
neither
of
one of them.
things that we have to, like, put pressure on ourselves for, and I'm assuming, like, that's what you guys talk about the most with your podcast, is just all of those things, like, the things that make us othered.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, can you tell me more about your podcast, what you guys talk about, what you guys do there?
Sure. We love talking to advocates and LGBTQ and or disabled people. Um, and we talk about the intersectionality. We talk about the horrors of trying to get a diagnosis sometimes. And we try to make it as fun as possible because there's a lot of heavy topics that we talk about. And if you can't laugh, it's hard to survive through those things. So we try to make it as light as possible. And we just kind of just talk about, well, the regime or,
Or
how do we promote our voices? How do we
uh,
push those things?
or we just talk about what they do just to
Mhm.
kind of show their humanity behind it.
Right.
Talk about their singing career or their stand-up comedy or their acting, whatever the case may be, to
Uh,
show that they're not just for lack of a better term, a cripple, or they're not just sitting at home doing nothing. They're humans, they're people, they're beautiful. Even the
Yeah.
ones that are sitting at home doing nothing, they're still doing something. They're not just sitting there doing nothing.
And if all you can do is breathe, that's good enough too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's important too. And we talk about the importance of including everybody in everything because, we've talked about the fashion industry excluding disabled people um, and at how uh, they're losing trillions of dollars because, we're a monolith of over 1 billion people.
Hmm.
Uh, I think we're like 3, 4 billion people, if not more, because you got to figure some people don't even label themselves as disabled because they don't realize it. And all of us together, that's a lot of money that you're putting aside that don't want because you don't want to accommodate us. Um, Companies are missing out on great workers. And we talk about that too, because again, disabled people, just because their arms don't work or they don't have any arms, doesn't mean they can't work. There's ways around it.
Yep.
And sometimes there's been studies in, like, I think it was the 30s and 40s, and definitely the 40s during World War II, when they had women and disabled people working because all the men were at war. And they found that women and disabled people gave more output than the men did.
I bet.
And they threw that away when the men came back home.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. It's just like, wow, you're stupid. Um, because when you have that loyalty, that's how you make a business. That's where you grow, is because you have loyal workers who trust you and want to give mega output. And, women and disabled people tend to do that more. So now you're getting more for your buck. And then when people hear about it, they feel good about buying things. Yeah, it could be that lovely inspirational porn crap that they're falling for. But if that means that they buy more of your product because you're catering and working with disabled people, who cares? That's more to your bottom line.
It's always blown my mind when they just disregard us because yeah, we are a huge community. Huge. We need things. There's a lot of things we need. And
Hmm.
Mhm.
aren't you greedy and capitalist? Like
Right.
you could
Right.
sell us shit, you know? If you just make the things right, you could sell so much to us. And
Exactly.
especially now because we haven't had access to those things, so
Yeah.
we're probably gonna buy them all up. And
Yeah.
they still just refuse, and for what reasons even? That's so
Yeah.
insane.
It
Oh,
doesn't make sense
and
because being a capitalistic society means that you want to squeeze every dollar that you can out of every single person.
they're doing it poorly.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't want to take advantage of people who want to work. There are lots of disabled people who want to work. Um,
Exactly. By
and
far
that's
the most
money.
determined and most, engaged workers I have talked to lately are the
Mhm.
people with disabilities who I mean, we couldn't fit into one thing, so we've built our own empires,
Yeah.
can't
Right.
stop us.
Right. And, that's a lot of, again, that's a lot of money that they're leaving on the table, which doesn't make sense as a greedy, especially the US, as a greedy country.
Hmm.
You know, hello, don't you
Yeah,
want trillions coming in?
yeah. Capitalize on it, please. By
Hmm.
providing me the services and the products that I need, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just go ahead and be
Exactly.
greedy. And I love what you're saying about the, intersectionality of everything. I definitely I started my business, mostly focusing on chronically ill, and then I started learning more about the connection with the neurodivergence, and I realized how many of us are both.
Yep.
So many. Like, there's so few that are not at this point.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
a little touch of both. It's so crazy, and then, like, on top of that, as I started building a group with, like, chronically ill and neurodivergent people, somebody asked me, they're like, "Well, is it LGBTQ safe?" And I was like, "Oh, 100%, like, there is absolutely no way I could have a group of neurodivergent people that
Yeah.
doesn't include all of that." Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
are really good at picking genders and sexualities.
Right.
No, no, we're not.
We
And
we pick them eventually, but, we get a little creative with it most of the time.
yes,
So,
we
like,
do actually. And
it's
which is normal too.
normal.
Like, especially with neurodivergence, you've got so many people that have comorbidities that match. Like, we talk to a lot of people with EDS that have POTS and MCAS and autism and ADHD, and it keeps going. And we want to talk to all of those people. We also like to talk to those that are all of those things and black or native, and kind of talk to them how that difference manifests itself, because being of color, of any color, can marginalize you more,
Mhm.
even amongst the same ailments or disabilities sometimes. And, we like to talk to them too, to also raise their voices, so that we all understand that when you include us, not only are you getting so much money, um, let's start with that because I know a lot of people are so greedy. So let's start with the money. You're gaining trillions right there. And then it could even be more because just the UK disability people generate over like 3 trillion a year, I think, in
Mhm.
money. So that's just one little country. Imagine at how much Canada and America could generate
Mhm.
if all of us were together and, fought together. And then, bringing it all of us kind of like giving us a community so that nobody is left out, and never feels left out. And we can talk about all of these different things, and we could talk about the genders and at how it's, kind of cool because we don't, none of us fit in a box.
And this is by far the best community I've ever found, and they all support and all marginalized people. It's not like the LGBTQ doesn't like different races or anything. They all support different people. They all realize we're all marginalized. We're all in danger, basically, and they support us all. And it's really, really nice.
The way
And
the, like, disabled and LGBTQ communities are, like, coming together right now, it's beautiful, and
Uh-huh.
it's so important to make these connections, which is, like, a big part of why I love doing these podcasts. I love talking
Yep.
to these people about
Mhm.
what they're doing, and it's just, I mean, not to get all inspirational, like, disability porn about it, but, like, it is freaking inspiring to see
It
all the
It
is.
is.
people who, like, we can name, like, freaking 100 barriers that we're facing, and yet we're still showing up here every day doing the damn thing. I might show up from bed half the time, but, like, I'm showing up and doing the thing because I want to, because I love it, because I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because building the community of it all is so amazing, and I just
And that's how we survive
words
anything.
escape me when I start thinking about, like,
Yes.
how amazing it is doing all
Yep.
these things and making these connections and hearing these stories, and everyone's fighting through something. Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a marginalized group or not, you're probably fighting through something. You
Right.
have a grasp of, like, what it is to have to work for these things.
Mhm. And that's why we named our podcast Othering, because everybody knows, from a white man to a black man and everybody in between, everybody knows what it's like to have to be the other person in the group, to be the standout person that either gets bullied or ridiculed, left out because, well, you're different, and or even just feels like an alien, hatched from a different dimension. We all know what that feels like. And so that's why we named it Othering, to kind of, say we're
Mhm.
welcoming to everybody.
Love that. for all of these people coming together. It's so inspiring. It's so amazing. I just like this community and like the people that I've been meeting lately, especially doing this podcast, is just it's so much fun. And I get to hear
It
Yeah.
such
is.
cool stories because like those of us who've dealt with, these situations where we're being othered, our stories are just better. They're just
Yeah.
gonna be because we've got like a unique take on all of these things.
Right.
Right.
And it's so much fun. And I love having like the more podcasts and the more like YouTube channels and content creators that we get going out there, especially talking about things like disability and LGBTQ and all of that. So huge, so important because we need more people to understand. And
Yeah.
not only
Yes.
do we need the people who don't fit in those categories to understand, but we need each other to understand that we're not alone.
Yes.
And there's so many people out there. It's not like you're hearing the same people on every podcast.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
different people all the time. I'm
Yes.
surprised every time I look at other podcasts that talk to disabled people. There's maybe 2 that we've talked to before,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
another 60 I've never even heard of before. And it's like, oh,
But you're adding
Wow.
to the list.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly. And it's just, it kind of just makes you happy to see, not that you're happy that everybody's disabled, of course not, but you're happy to see that you're not alone and that there's so many other people to
Mhm.
talk to and get to hear their stories and how they uh, accomplished or didn't accomplish things, because accomplishment isn't the thing that measures us, and it should never be the thing that measures us.
Right.
We're not judged by our level of productivity.
No,
You can't judge me on shit.
Right.
no.
I live, I exist, I am worthy, I am doing the things. Leave me
I
the
mean,
fuck
look at
alone.
all the
Can't
wealth.
judge me.
There's so many wealthy people, and look at them. And then look at the rest of us
Hmm.
who don't necessarily have that level of quote unquote success. Um, but we're happy. We're
I'm
not,
seeing a
being
lot of
hounded.
people lately talk about how I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to make a nice, comfy, cozy living.
Hmm.
I want enough money to take care of my needs, to have a house that's
Mhm.
safe. I'd like some pretty clothes,
Hmm.
and also to afford the amount of hobbies that my ADHD brain comes up with,
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
or business ideas, whichever it feels like today.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. And I think that's what
Oh,
everybody wants, is just
yeah,
that ability to eat and
Be
be
comfortable.
comfortable.
yeah,
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Not worry about whether or not you're going to lose your house next month.
yeah. That's all
Yeah.
we want. That's all we want.
Yeah. And
Hopefully
it's becoming
somebody
so hard
important
now.
is listening and they can hear us, like, giving them ideas on how,
Hmm.
you can capitalize on it, because honestly, like, I can't hate having more services.
No,
That
No,
would be
not at all.
nice.
that's the whole point of a government,
Hmm.
is to take the money that we pay in
Is
taxes,
it? Is it
and
anymore?
it is still the obligation of every government to take the taxes and fix everything.
Yeah, yeah. If they could you please? We got a list of things we need fixed.
Yeah.
Yes. Like the potholes.
Oh my gosh, so low on the list at the moment.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
of
but on
course.
our roads, actually, no. That does get to go higher on the list.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Lots
no,
of
we're still
webcams.
here, but our camera decided to die on us.
Man, usually it's my camera, so that's nice.
Do you want me to get another camera hooked up real quick? Or
You can, or yeah,
sure.
Sure, hold
Hold
on.
on.
at least be able to do like a nice sign off where we can actually see you.
Yes, give us one moment.
No worries. Oh, the technology of it all.
Yeah, you gotta love it and you gotta hate it.
It's, I'm just pretty sure my computers all have gremlins these days. The things
Well,
that have
there's
just
horror
been going
gremlins.
wrong, I can't find reasons for them half the time.
No,
You
the
can
other.
turn off the camera while recording, but you can't switch cameras. Well, shit.
You could.
I can't switch cameras while recording.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
great.
So
unfortunate. I mean, time flies. We've already been talking for an hour, which is
that's
like
amazing.
I love
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
how like it's so many, it happens so often with neurodivergent people too. Like I get on these conversations and just like time flies because like
Yes.
we just connect
Yeah.
on such a deeper level than like,
Yes.
you can no small talk needed.
I can't
Hmm.
do small talk.
Can't do
Like,
small talk. I hate
if
it
you ask me
so
about the weather, I will tell you in
For 20
detail.
minutes, for 25 minutes.
Yes, I can't do like, oh, it's nice and leave it at that.
every time I talk to like especially chronically ill people, it's like, "Oh, what is the weather there?" We're usually asking because how's your body doing?
Right.
Yes.
Because so many of us are affected by the weather. It's like, "Oh, well, what's the weather there?
Yep.
Rainy? Oh, so you're probably, feeling a little."
Yeah, it
And
it
then there's
is
those of us
true.
with heat sensitivity, and I honestly like there's no temperature that really does it for me anymore. So,
The only temperature for me is like Ireland because I've read, I don't know if it's changed, but they used to be like 70s most of the year. And that is like ideal weather because too hot exacerbates my CRPS and too
yeah,
cold exacerbates my CRPS.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, temperature is a problem these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have like I always joke slash it's true. There's like a, week in the spring and the week in the fall that like it's wonderful. It's perfect.
Yes.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for coming and talking to me and telling me all about your
Thank you.
podcast and everything.
Yes.
Um
Thank you for having
where
us.
where can our people find you?
Yes. So we have a website called otheringpodcast.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Um,
All of them.
yeah, all of them. Um,
All the
we're
things.
everywhere that
And
podcasts are sold.
yeah. And you can get it, the podcast wherever, like Spotify, Apple, whatever. Yeah, all of them.
Awesome. That's so
Hmm.
great. I will make sure I drop all of those links below so everyone can go
Thank you.
follow you as well. I am so excited. We have our podcast for your channel booked for a month from now, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's next month. Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Love it. I'm so excited to chat with you guys again.
Hmm.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being here with me. We're gonna
Our
sign
pleasure.
off now. Um, if anybody else wants to talk to me about coming on the podcast, sharing your story about working life with chronic illness and neurodivergence, give me a shout. All the links are below. We will talk next week. Bye.